Welcome back to another video. You can probably hear in my voice, I am still not feeling great. Most of the organisation and stuff now from comp and the last bits we had to do are nearly done. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but essentially the thing I've been really stressing over looks like it's near enough sorted now. And that's been keeping me awake now since comp. So finally feel like I'm actually hopefully on track to feeling a bit better soon, and less stressed. But I still am obviously, like, I'm just generally ill. Like, I do think it is from wearing myself down, but I've definitely worn myself down a bit too much. So I'm very bunged up. Like, my throat is just awful. Like, it feels really difficult to talk. Went for a walk earlier and was so out of breath on a normal distance walk, walking at a very normal pace for me. So yeah, so now going into week 4, not overly excited for how this is going to go. I know I'm going to have a good session still. I cannot wait to just get in the gym and train. Hopefully tonight I'll actually be able to just focus on training. I've got nothing else to really be worrying about, to be thinking about. Like I say, most of the stuff that I've been stressing over is pretty much there now. So I'm really hoping I can just go and enjoy it. It is going to be heavy. Obviously it is week 4, but it's nothing I'm not capable of. Just got to make things move. And just, suck it up and get it done. It is a little bit later than I would normally leave mine, but it's fine. I can get up a little bit later than normal tomorrow, because normally Thursday is like my earliest rise of the week as well, but tomorrow I can get up a little bit later, so that's also good. I'm just going to get through the session. I'm going to take my time as well. Like, I'm not going to force myself to have really short rest breaks or anything. I'm just going to listen to my body and go by how I feel. Like, you can probably hear that I'm out of breath just talking, like my throat's so bad. But yeah, just thought I'd jump on. I'm now going to head to my parents and get this session done.
If you rockin' with it, put your hands up.
There's nothing in this world more primal than my love for you. If you meet somebody else that's a rival, that much is true. Yeah, I know you said, baby, this is final, and I blame myself. All that's left of me now is an animal, and I cry for help. I wish my call's gonna reach you. Give it my all, 'cause I need you. Oh, let it go, let it go, let it go, till I get you alone. I can't help but howl like a wolf, howl like a wolf. I wish my call's gonna reach you. Give it my all, 'cause I need you. I will howl like a wolf, baby, I will howl like a wolf. When the sun fades, when the night awaits, I'll be howling and howling and howling for you, babe. Can't keep my pain quiet any longer. Gotta let it out. Are you anywhere near? So I wonder, can you hear me now? I know it ain't over till it's over, 'cause I'm still alive. If only you'd come a bit closer, maybe I'll...
Okay, so I didn't recap my lifts, as you can tell, from the fact I'm sitting in my car again. So I thought I'd just recap everything now. So squats, well, they went okay. I've been thinking for ages that I've been like dive bombing my squats a lot recently, and it's been working, but I just know that when it gets like heavy singles and stuff, I shouldn't be doing that. Like, I need to I've been thinking for weeks that I need to tempo and control the descent a bit more. And for some reason, my body decided to just do that without even realising it on week 4 of the block. In case you aren't aware, you shouldn't make changes on week 4 of the block, not really. If you need to implement changes, you should probably do it consistently from the beginning of the block, rather than just as things get really heavy. So yeah, I ended up randomly like tempoing my squats, but they move fine. 150 for a set of 6 is obviously close to top end. Like, my best ever set at 150 is 7 from last block, and that was like, well, it's probably about an RP8 to be fair. but obviously I'm not feeling fresh today either. So yeah, it was fine. It was just, I mean, it was a mental battle, I guess, with squats. I knew I had everything on the program, like a 135 for sevens. They actually moved surprisingly well, but they felt hard. They felt like work. And it wasn't physically difficult. None of it was physically difficult. Even the 150 set of 6, it wasn't like physically difficult. It was just like mentally, I had to remind myself that I was capable of doing it, and just sort of suck up the fact that it was hard. But I got through it. That's all I really have to say on squats, to be honest. Considering everything, like my body, I haven't been doing the accessory days, obviously, because I've been so like drained and sleepy. And so my body hasn't had its usual like stimulus to different movements. And although I haven't missed any of my comp lifts, missing those accessories will still have had an impact on these lifts. So I'm really happy with how squats went, all things considered. So I'll quickly show you bench, and then I'll talk through that.
If only you'd come a bit closer, maybe I'll survive. I wish my call's gonna reach you. Give it my all, 'cause I need you. I won't let it go, let it go, let it go till I get you alone. I can't help but howl like a wolf, howl like a wolf. I wish my call's gonna reach you. Give it my all, 'cause I need you. I will howl like a wolf. Baby, I will howl like a wolf. When the sun fades, when the night awaits, I'll be howling and howling and howling for you, babe. I'll be howling and howling and howling for you, babe. I'll be howling and howling and howling for you, babe.
So bench went okay. I wasn't overly happy with it, to be honest. My top single, I was really annoyed at myself when I got off the bench, because I thought I'd cut the pause short again. And I thought it was just a really hovering, like messy 3 count single. But actually, that's probably the best I've moved 110 with a long pause. And it was about 2 seconds, I reckon, maybe slightly more. So it was like 2 to 3 second pause, depending on how quickly you count. I'm happy with that. The top single definitely went better than I thought it was going to, and better than I thought it did. Like watching it back, I was pretty happy. And I think my bum actually stayed down as well. I mean, this camera angle will definitely show me more clearly if it did or not. Like my phone, the angle I filmed it from that I've checked, can't tell for sure, but I think it stayed down. So I might be lying, but I'm fairly confident my butt stayed down for that as well, which is really good news. Back offs though, so I had 6s at 100, and bearing in mind the other day I struggled with 4s at 100 and 102. I should have really expected this to be difficult, and again I haven't had the normal stimulus from my accessory days either, so things weren't going to feel as good. Yeah, I ended up doing my first set of 6 at 100, and I just felt like I'd forgotten how to bench, so I dropped to 97.5, and again my movement and just, it didn't feel right, it didn't feel natural. I just completely messed up my technique. Like it wasn't even a strength issue, it was just the fact that my technique wasn't quite there. But everything made fun. I think the last set was probably actually the best set somehow. But because the first set was quite sloppy at 100, my triceps were pretty fried by that point, so nothing moved amazingly. But I mean, a bad bench day, 6s at 97.5 and 100 isn't exactly bad, so it's okay. I mean, the pauses were non-existent as well, but we won't talk about that. That's all I've got to say about bench. Like, it is what it is. Again, got to take into consideration everything else going on around me. It's not too bad. So let's just take a look at deadlifts, which were weirdly the highlight of the session.
Really been going back to back to back to back to back to back to back, like the neighborhood warriors. I don't miss, I don't play none, I don't diss, I don't say none. I go swish, that's an A1. I steak with no A1. Tell the chef I said thanks, tell I'm in the bank.
So yeah, deadlifts, by the time I get to deadlifts, I'm always tired. It's always incredibly late, and I always just want to rush through and get them done, which is terrible because they are the lift that I need the most work on. And so I always go into them with this attitude of just like rushing through them. But tonight I forced myself to have a little bit longer rest than I normally would. So normally on deadlifts, I'll have about 90 seconds rest, and then I wonder why they move badly or why I'm struggling more than I probably should be with the weights I've loaded. So today I made sure to have like 3-4 minutes rest between my sets, and they moved incredibly well. And I also realised, so 160 for 3x4 is definitely like a volume PB. My first block of the off season, I did 160 for a set of 5, and that was my top set of the session. But the last rep was like incredibly just messy. It was like an RP10, and that's the last time I flared my back up. It was on that final rep of that set. So I've done 160 for 5 before, but I don't even know if you could count it for 5 because the last rep was so bad. Like I pretty much locked it, but not really. So 160 for 3x4 is probably a volume PB. And it did move really well, I think. So my first set was the worst, and then I moved my belt higher for my next 2 sets, and that definitely felt better. So I need to make sure that anytime I'm conventional deadlifting now, I have my belt a little bit higher. But yeah, that's what I've really got to say. I'm not going to talk too much in this one because I spoke loads in the last video. So just going to recap the session. Like, it was a good session. All things considered, like, I feel like death. I am so ill. I'm so run down. And last night was the first night I felt like I actually got any sleep. And even that was still broken up because I was still really stressy. Like, so anytime I woke up in the night, it took me ages to get back to sleep. But yeah, hopefully tonight, now that things are starting to calm down, I actually get some sleep. And hopefully in the next video, when you see me again, I'll be full of energy. I don't think I'm ever full of energy. And yeah, hopefully things will be a bit better. So I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you on Monday for the next one.
My mom, I'm living good. Tell my kids don't stress a thing. I go back to back on the drops, drop a lot.